Okay, all right. So welcome everyone to it's actually the last day of class. I was thinking about I was having Tuesday session next week for wrap up, but I think I'll rather think of giving you the time to complete things that you need to complete, so that next week you have it to really go through what you need to complete. So, except if you guys, if you come together and you feel that you want a session for whatever reason, yeah, but I doubt it. I think you have a lot to complete. So this will be the last session, so that because you have your assignment, you have your exam, those two things, which you need to work on. Excuse me. All right, so welcome everybody. So we have my colleague, friend, Dr. Nsebo, who is joining us today. As you remember, this week was on physical impairment, and this was his week, and we went through, excuse me, went through his videos on Tuesday session. So, as you know, our normal thing is we invite the experts to come in on a Thursday session for a further engagement, which is really enriching. So, Dr. Nsebo, welcome. Let me introduce him to you, first of all. So he's now, Dr. Nsebo is now the head of department of the special needs and inclusive education at the Pentecost University, University A+ in Ghana. Dr. Nsebo had a PhD degree from our division, I'm proud to say, majoring in inclusive education, aspect. He also holds a master's in science degree in disability, rehabilitation and development studies from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Ghana. He's trained as a professional teacher. He has taught for over 20 years in primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions across Ghana, South Africa, and Myanmar in Southeast Asia. Interestingly, after his master's degree program, he worked with, make sure I'm pronouncing it, Edwinase Rehabilitation Center in Kumasi, where he had field experience working among children with cerebral palsy, autism, visual impairment, mobile impairment, and much more. And then moved to Kumasi Metropolitan Education Directorate as a circuit supervisor on the rank assistant director 2 of education. It was also part of our idea units that we keep talking about, our idea research institute, and the textbook which you guys are reading, which is part of the resource for this course. He was also co-creator of the textbook, which is, and he chaired the editorial committee that worked on that textbook. So the textbook will have on disability studies in education. So lastly, his passion to support inclusive education for children with disabilities motivates him to undertake a voluntary role as a disability advocacy committee member with voluntary services overseas in the United Kingdom. So, Dr. Nsebo, welcome. I know there are things which might have, other things that have happened, which you've done, which I've not covered, but as I usually say, short bio, to capture what we can about our presenter. So welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for this lengthy introduction. Sometimes you just skip over a lot of things, but you wanted to say everything. Thank you very much for all those. And glad to see my friend here, the best friend in South Africa, and a sister, Dr. Nati Stemla. Always glad to see you.
I can pick up memories from those.
Anytime I see her, then I remember those days where I wanted her to be my employer. Then she asked, so what is it that you can do in the as an audiologist or in the hearing assessment? I said, me, I can do everything at all. You assigned me. Dr. Adati, I still remember those conversations. Glad, and we had very good, nice times together. Anytime she happened to visit Cape Town, she would take us around the shopping mall, some lunch, and other things. Thank you very much.
I've missed on a lot of things, Nati. So you don't have to stop. You can still do those things.
It's still coming. Don't rush.
Don't
rush.
Thank you.
I'm here for good now.
All right.
I remember the last trip. The last trip, Dr. Bridget was also present when you took us to the Cavendish and all those places. You remember?
I remember.
So interesting. Yes. So you guys, it's assumed that you have listened to the lecture and then the video and everything on the platform. So it will be very, very interesting for me to at least, if I get to know a little about you, your name, your special area where you are working and where you are connecting from, so that at least I'll have an idea about the people I'm about to interact with. So if that is fine, okay.
Yes, that's what we are. We actually do that. We always, the students always introduce themselves to our guest lecturer. So we will go ahead with that. So people, your name, you said your specialty, what you do, and then where you're connecting from. So that we move along, I will be calling each person. So Afikile, can you start? Afikile, your name is always at the top because I think because it starts with A. If you can turn on your camera, please, so that Dr. Nsebo can see your face, please. As much as possible, you can turn on your camera.
Absolutely.
You can turn it off later.
Sure.
Okay.
If you are in your bedroom, start putting on something now.
Okay. Sorry.
Or if you're not ready, Afikile, we can come back to you. We can go to Alice meanwhile. Okay, you're ready.
Sure.
Right.
So hi everyone. My name is Afikile Nokaya. I'm connecting from Cape Town. I'm a program coordinator for Rehabilitation Workers Collaborative Program. I'm also a personal assistant for Rehabilitation Workers Net Program in partnership with Healthy Futures South Africa. Yes, Healthy Futures South Africa and the University of Cape Town and other stakeholders. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Afikile. And the next person is Alice. Alice, can you introduce yourself?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Alice Makombore. I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm currently working in Cape Town as an enterprise development intern for a plastic recycling PRO, and I'm connecting from Cape Town as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Alice. Next person on my list is Cedric. So yeah, you're still on mute. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, Dr. Nsebo. Because I'm Cedric Williams. I'm also connecting from Cape Town. I'm the Disability Service Administrator at the University of Cape Town. So yeah, my role is basically front office, operations, finance, everything related to things that needs to be processed in the office, finance related and human resources.
Thanks, Cedric. Thank you. The next person on my list is Doreen. Doreen?
Thank you, Doc. Afternoon, everyone.
We can't see you. Okay, we can see you now.
Can you see me?
Can see you now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Doreen. I the Academic Excellence Coordinator. I work with student development support. So I normally work with the disability unit in terms of finding ways on supporting disability students. And I'm connecting from Gauteng. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Doreen. The next person on my list is Kelebohile. Kelebohile. Put in the chat. So, okay, no, sign language is there.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kelebui Mahoso. I am deaf person. I am connecting from Lesotho and I am a professional teacher. So so disability.
Oh, we can't hear Mama. How? We can't hear you. Yeah, no, we can't. We could hear you before, but now it stopped. I don't know why. Maybe it's your maybe earphone. Yeah. No, we can't. Yeah, it's coming and breaking. I don't know if my Melo can help. Oh, okay. I see. I can hear you now. Yeah, it must be network. Must be network. Okay, let's Keleboye, they want to try again. I don't know if Mamelo can help too. If our connection is better.
Let me contact Mamelo to assist.
I can hear you now, and hopefully it continues. So you can try again. You guys can. Keleboye, you can try again.
Dr. Ike Kalushilo just notified that his network is very poor.
Okay. Okay, Keleboye, you can then maybe you can type it in the chat. Okay. You can type in the chat and then I will read it to Dr. Nsebo. All right. Okay, Isanda, then type your introduction in the chat. Okay, type your introduction in the chat. All right, so next person on my list is Masabata. Masabata, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My apologies. I remember Dr. Ike, I was expecting a new laptop. I don't know what happened. Somehow my camera is deactivated. So I still need to work on that. Hello, Dr. Nsebo. My name is Masabata Taole. I am connecting from Bloemfontein in the Free State. I am a development manager for the organization called National Development Agency, which is an agency of the Department of Social Development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Masabata. Then let me see. Who's Sibonello, you can introduce yourself.
Good day, Dr. Ike. Good day, Dr. Onasi. Good day, Dr. Sebo. My name is Sponelum Saleku from Itsegwini. I'm connected in Devon. Currently, I'm on several disability due to my illness. However, I work for its municipality as a disability coordinator. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that the students are 11 in number. Not everyone is here. There are one or two who are not feeling well. They're sick. Yeah, one of them actually, I need to call her later. Yeah, but they're 11 in number. But I think we've covered everyone apart from myself and Nati. The other persons in the room are our sign language interpreters who interpret for Kelebohile. Yeah. So the other two people, myself and Onati, you do know. Okay, Kelebohile has written his introduction in the chat. He says, I'm Kelebohile Mavuso from Lesotho. I am a professional deaf teacher majoring in physics and geography. Oh, I didn't know about physics. Interesting. For years, I have been working and volunteering in disability advocacy networks. I also own consultancy company on disability issues with my team. Yeah. Unati, you want to introduce yourself?
Why would I do that? Because he seems to know me very well.
Exactly.
Well, I can reintroduce myself. I think we know each other as classmates and as friends, but in this capacity, my name is Unati Stemela. I have just recently joined UCT as a senior lecturer on a full-time basis in July. So I am still learning my ropes around Cape Town, but I'm currently connecting from East London. Otherwise I am with UCT now. I've left Forte. Unfortunately, you did not get your audiology work at Forte. We'll see what we can do with Cape Town. Yeah, that's me.
Thanks,
I think that
Nati.
was worth saying to him, because
Exactly.
last year I was in this module, and I think we have met last year in this platform, but I was still at Forte. So I've just changed seats. Thank you, Ike.
Thanks, Nati. Thanks, Nati. So that information was very important because I don't think Kofi knew about that. All right, Kofi, so that's everybody. So that's everybody. And so students, so this is the opportunity for, like we said, with the engagement, for questions or comments for Dr. Nsebo to engage with. So the room is now open for questions or comments on this week's videos.
Yes.
Kofi, if there's
Thank
anything you want
you
to
very
say,
much.
go ahead. Yeah.
Don't worry. Yes, it means this year as well, you have diverse expertise from all over, except that the Capetonians are dominating. But I can hear one from Hotel, Durban, East London, and all these areas. That is very, very interesting. As I mentioned earlier on, our meeting here is just for interaction. But before you bring up your questions, just a little background or overview of myself and then my experience as far as physical disabilities or mobility impairment, to be specific, is concerned. Yes, you've heard a lot about my expertise and experience. But then permit me to also add to you, to add that I am a person with mobility impaired. Yes, mobility impairment. And then I have difficulty walking longer distances. Yes, so, and through my educational ladder, it's been a struggle that accumulated a lot of experiences regarding children with disabilities in general in the educational spheres. children with physical disability or mobility impairment should be a type of disability that these individuals will easily be included in our mainstream school settings.
Well, I think we have connection issues. Kofi, you're frozen. Maybe, Kofi, maybe we'll turn off our cameras to see if that will help.
Individuals with disabilities or it's a line breaking.
Yeah, it's breaking. So maybe we'll turn off. Maybe we can turn off our cameras. I'm hoping that will help.
And it appears it's breaking.
Yes. So I'm saying maybe we can turn off our cameras. It may help. The sign language interpreter won't be able
is
to.
frozen. Enough to continue.
Yeah, so I typed in the chat. I said maybe you and I can turn off our cameras to see if it will help.
Can you hear me? It's clear.
It's breaking up. Can you hear me? Yeah, it's breaking up. See what I put something in the chat, Kofi. Okay, people, we are having connection issues. Apologies for that. Wondering what can be done now to alleviate this. Kofi, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's breaking up. Can you turn off your camera? Maybe that will help.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes. Yeah, please continue.
Is it better now?
Yeah, I can hear you and you can continue. Let's see if it works. I think we're still having the connection issue. We're still. This is a challenge now.
Is it better now?
I can hear you.
Let me still do some adjustment.
I can also from the side.
And that's what you say?
I'm saying I can hear him also from my side. I think it is better without the video.
The video, yeah.
So if you
Kofi,
can just go
continue.
ahead and speak, yeah.
Is it better now?
Kofi, just continue. Just continue.
It's better now, right?
Yeah, you can continue.
Yes.
Yes, Doreen. Doreen can help. Go ahead.
Doc, I think maybe you can go out and come back and rejoin. Maybe it
Yeah,
can help.
that might help. Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you can. Let me just put it in the chat.
Can I go ahead?
I'm hoping he says.
Is it better?
Yeah, so you see, he's not picking up even what we're saying. To say he can continue. Okay, hold on. Let me call him on WhatsApp. People just hold on. I just remembered I can get him on WhatsApp. Let's see if that will work. I think he has left the call. Okay. Maybe to get him on WhatsApp. See. Okay, so people, let's just wait for him to come back in. But while we wait, who has a question? Can you raise your hand so that we'll know who will come first after he's done speaking? Who wants to start off with a question or comment? Okay, so the first person that will go will be Doreen, and then after Doreen, Masabata. All right. And then others can come afterwards. Okay. Then Masabata. I just hope the connection works. Okay, so just waiting for him to come back in. Okay, I think while we're waiting for him, let me see. I don't want to start going through the exam because if he comes in, then it will break. Let's just give me a little bit of time. Struggling to get him on WhatsApp. Okay, let me call him again. Okay, people just hold on. I'm just sending him the link on because he will try to join through his phone. Hopefully that works. See, okay. Chat. Oh, my connection is taking long. Okay. Okay. Okay, I sent him the link. Hopefully he'll be joining us very soon. Sorry, everybody. Sorry for the delay. Still not even going through. Because if what comes to worse is not able to engage, then what we will likely do is I will collate the questions from you all. I'll collect the questions, then send it to him in an email. Then maybe what he will do is he will do a video recording answering the questions and then send it back to us, send it back to me, and then I share the link with you all. That's what we might actually do, because even my WhatsApp call is not going through. Even my WhatsApp call is not going through. Minati, what do you think? Is there any other thing you think can be? That's what I think.
No, I was hoping that the work. But
Yeah.
it's probably the network on his side.
Yes, yeah.
And
It is. Anyway, so when he joins, I think that's what we would. I'll just suggest that to him and hear his view, and then I think it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I don't know any other thing we can do to keep the engagement going. Okay, so when he comes in, we'll take it from there. I think then maybe what we can do is to pivot to the exam. Okay, to the exam discussion. I would really like us to end early today, because I know you have a lot of work to do, and the earlier the better, so that you can get back to finalizing what you need to finalize. Okay, so we're not in the place of keeping you longer. All right, so let's pivot to engagement. Hopefully you've had time, okay, to read through and start thinking around how you are going to address the examination. So let me share my screen. Just give me a minute. I thought to do this during the break, because Dr. Izebo was supposed to be with us till 4:30. But let's see.
Maybe while you are doing while you are busy with that, Ike, let's just check from the two people that wanted to ask questions, whether those questions are directly going to Dr. Nsebo, or it's something that we can discuss in the meantime, so that when he comes back, or when he gets the questions, he can add on to what we have discussed in this platform as well. Is it questions that are personal to him?
Can you just facilitate it for just a couple of minutes? The delivery person has come. Let me just go pick that stuff and come back. I'll be right back.
Okay, all right. No problem. No problem at all.
Thanks.
So let's just hear from the people that have got questions. Whether it was personal questions going to Dr. Nsebo, or is it things that we can still discuss, maybe based on the videos that we've watched previously?
Dr. Nati, I think my question can be discussed in the absence of Dr. Nsebo. It's related to the videos, yes.
Okay, all right. Let me just plug in my computer slowly. Then we are ready to take the question. Okay, Doreen, go ahead.
Thank you, Doc. I just wanted to understand, because he speaks a lot about accommodation, as he's mentioning. I think he's representing more on the physical disability and the mobility disability. So there are a lot of barriers there regarding the disability, but I've seen that he emphasizes more on accommodation. So what I wanted to find out is which theories are the most important theories for the physical disability, persons with physical disability, or for physical disability or mobility disabilities.
Theories, ne? So you wanted an answer on which theories?
Yes, which theories are more important, especially for the people with physical disabilities or these mobility disabilities? Which ones are more important?
Okay. All right. I'll write that down. Oh, I hope that I have captured that one. And was that your only question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Doreen. Okay. Who was the second person with a question?
Masabata.
Masabata, you
Can I
ask
go
your
ahead?
question.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Mine, I'm not even sure whether I should say it's a question or, yeah, it's something that is now, I don't know if my mind is sort of tired or what. I have been trying to understand the ICF. I tried to listen to Dr. Nsebo. I tried to listen to, not sure how to pronounce this name, Joek or George. I don't know the name. Both of them are explaining the international classification of function, but somehow I can't get it. So I was trying to hijack him to say maybe on a layman's terms, he would be able to bring me on board. That is my question or my issue. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you, Masabata. I think that one, we can also attempt answering or unpacking ICF for you. Okay. Ike, there's two questions. Doreen wanted to ask on the theories, which theory is most important on physical disability. Doreen, do you mind asking that question again? I just wrote it down because I did not want to make a comment or to just answer because I don't think I am too clear on that. But I'm happy to answer Masabata or to throw in weight on Masabata's ask because I think I am a bit clear on that one. Doreen, can you ask so that Dr. Ike can hear?
Yes, I just wanted to understand because I hear that our guest lecturer is talking more about accommodation as an important aspect to assist with equal and access opportunities for people with physical disability or mobility disability. So I wanted to understand which theories should we focus more on assisting the people with disabilities, like which theory or which model is mostly important for this disability, for physical disability or mobility disability.
You're
Dr.
muted.
Igor, you're
You're
muted.
Dr. Ike.
Okay, so nice muted. So thank you for that and apologies. So I was saying like Onati said, we can give you a response, but we can still pose the question to Dr. Nseba. So I could not even get him on to speak on WhatsApp. So what I did, I sent him a voice note to say that the plan is that I will collate the questions from you all. We send it to him. He does a video or an audio response to it, and then I share it to you guys. So he has agreed. It's perfect because he said his connection is not working at all, and he won't be able to. I don't think we're able to continue. So apologies to everybody for that. That was not anticipated, but hopefully that will work. So Onati and I can engage with questions you guys have, but then it will also be good for us to hear from Dr. Nsebo and then get his view. And then with that, I think you guys should be fine. Okay, so Doreen, for your question, so I want to give the similar answer I gave last time. Okay, because we know that when we talk about exclusions arising out of disability, it's really tied to context and it's really tied to the need. From this week, you've learned that when we talk about physical disability, you can also, it can also be someone with cerebral palsy. And we've known someone with cerebral palsy can also come with other disabilities. So they can be vision, they can be cognitive, they can be hearing. All those can come in. So it's really good not to. Yeah, it's really we really need to be careful not to say this or this is most important, because it depends on the need. And that is actually what you are doing in the course, for you to look, and that's what the exam is about, for you to look at the challenges the learner comes with, and then using what we've spoken about CS. We're talking about, okay, for this week, Dr. Kofi, he mentioned a lot, looking at UDL. We talked about the ICF, which Masabata is talking about, and the rest of it. But those frameworks are really for you to hone in on which aspects or understanding that helps you with the challenges the learner is presenting with. Because first of all, ICF is telling you not to focus on the impairment alone. It's saying look at the functioning. So what's that telling you? It's telling you that we're looking at what the person can do and what they cannot do. Not that, they have physical impairment, so they're not able to get an education. Okay, what are their strengths? What is it that they can do? And then what support can we do? But it's also telling you that the barriers that arise is due to engagement with environmental factors. So you now start going into things like, what can you do in the classroom? What can you do in terms of the attitudes? What can you do in terms of bathroom, if the learner wants to go to the bathroom, or what can we do about the teaching and learning methods that a teacher uses to be able to teach a child with CP? If the child has vision challenges, what can you pull from the week we did visual impairment to be able to include the child? If the child has cognitive challenges, what can we pull from the week of learners with intellectual impairment to be able to help with the child? So, because in this week, it kind of, in some ways, this is physical disability, but we are highlighting a lot that there are other secondary complications that could be present. And so, because a lot of the support or response in order to be able to include learners with physical impairment usually maybe only drives towards the physical, but this week is really telling you that there are others that are intermingled with what we are talking about today. So that will be what I would like to say in a way to answer it. I'm reluctant to say this is most important, that's more, because it depends on the needs of the learner. You will then choose, and that's why you're being your disability studies scholar, because what the skills you're learning is to be able to pick the frameworks or the strategies that will work best for the particular need of the client, for the learner with physical impairment. Because if it's just physical, then of course you're looking at, okay, how do we make sure the environment is accommodative, that the learner with physical impairment is able to get to the classroom? We talked about not just, in fact, if you remember when we started this week, we started off with learners saying that there's even a challenge of first choosing a school, finding a school that is can accommodate learners with physical impairment. We talked about that even when that happens, sometimes what is written on paper is not what is physically available. Some learners said that when they got to the school, lift was not working, and this
Sorry,
and that.
Dr. Ike, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can hear.
Good. Glad I'm
okay,
connected again.
All right. So he has worked it out. Okay. Thanks, Kofi. You can hear me also.
Loud and clear.
Beautiful. Okay, people, that was a little bit of improvisation. So I think we will continue. So, Kofi, there were two people who have questions, but maybe I leave you to finish off the introduction you wanted to do. And then those two students can then come and ask the question. Yeah. So please continue.
Perfect.
So people.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Thank you very much. Glad you have me now. I was trying to give an overview that inclusive education seems very complex in the eyes of peers. However, those learners with mobility impairment should not have been a challenge, a big deal, including them or adding them to the mainstream school settings. But what we have, you go to the special schools, you have individual learners that are not supposed to be in that facility. You go to the rehabilitation centers, there are learners who are mobility impaired that are not supposed to be there. So as you guys are hooked on this program, you become ambassadors. Let's rise up and fight for the rights of persons with disabilities, especially learners with disabilities. When all of us rise and fight together, we shall succeed. Just as every journey begins with a step, so it is. So the little we do will go along with promoting inclusive education. If not for anything, learners with mobility impairment should be mainstreamed, should be part of the inclusive school education. So in brief, that is all I want you guys to know. Thank you very much. Now let me hear the questions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Chris, for that introduction. All right, so we'll start off then with Doreen. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Doc. As I've been watching videos, your presentations, I hear that in terms of this learners with physical or mobility impairment, accommodation is the most important aspect to us, because it will help them to us. It will assist them with equal access and opportunity in these mainstream schools. So
Yes.
as accommodation is one of the important aspect that we need to focus on, because there are a lot of barriers that these learners are going through. So what I wanted to ask is, which theory do you think it's mostly suited, or we should focus on in terms of accommodating this student with mobility impairment? So Dr. Ige tried to answer it, but I will want to hear your view. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this question. It's a very good one. You see, learners with mobility impairment or physical impairment will need physical accommodation. Now, when we talk about physical accommodation, we are referring to the learning environment. How is the layout of the school is? Let's talk about the classrooms itself. How accommodating, how accessible our classrooms are. So basically, when you look at this physical infrastructure and things around us, those with mobility impairments or physical disabilities are good to go. However, when we are talking about promotion of inclusive education, it is not necessarily persons with disabilities. You'll be surprised to notice that you may have learners who may not pose any form of disability, and yet they have challenges in I will prescribe is the universal design for learning. That is one framework. The universal design for learning, I'm sure you guys might have gone through it. It gives rooms for the learner to become an expert learner. A learner becoming an expert learner in the sense that the learner is allowed Oh my goodness. Come on.
Okay. We can hear you again. Hi, Kofi.
Sorry, there was a break, but welcome back.
Oh, okay. Okay, we can hear you. Yeah.
Goodness. Who is calling? Who is that disturbing? Okay. Yes. Sometimes when there are calls interrupting, that is why. So sorry about that interruption.
Okay. No problem. No problem.
Yes. So I was trying to raise an argument that inclusive education does not belong to only learners with disabilities. You may have learners that are not disabled, and yet they are special needs children. So if you are talking about a framework, then I would rather recommend the universal design for learning, UDL. And that is the framework that makes provision for every learner. Apart from that, I can also talk about multi-sensory learning approach. The multi-sensory learning approach has to do with the senses. Basically, we talk about 5 senses: smelling, seeing, feeling, tasting, and all this. So, the antidote is our teachers, our educators. So when we take our teachers or our educators through these kind of pedagogical skills, then they will be in a better position to make sure that the need of every learner is addressed. I've tried to answer you.
Thank you, Kofi Adori.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's answered.
All right. All right. Okay. Okay.
Wonderful.
Thanks. Okay. The next person is Masabata. Please go ahead.
Good.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ike. Dr. Kofi, mine is on the International Classification of Functioning. I indicated earlier, I listened to your video where you were explaining it, and also, I think it's George, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, where he was also taking us through it. I can't get it. So I was just requesting maybe a simplified way of understanding it better, to say, if I were to tell a person about the ICF, what is it exactly? What does it do? Maybe in that way, I will be able to go back to the videos and understand the longer version of it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The ICF is also seen as a model of disability. It is just the classification. You know, if learned about the different types of models we have the medical model, we have the social model, we have the charity model, we have a whole lot others. Okay, so the ICF is a derivative from the medical model perspective. You know, the proponents of the medical model believe that the health workers are the experts in the field of disabilities. They believe that they should detect, they should tell what persons with disabilities should do and how they should go about things. But that is not true. The persons with disabilities themselves should be seen as the experts in the field. Now, the ICF, the idea of ICF is to classify individuals with impairment. And over here, you'll get to know the differences between impairments and disabilities. The impairment is the physiological deformity that you see on the individual. But disability has to do with the social, the society, how people perceive, how the thinking and the behavior of others pose barriers. So for short, ICF is a classification according to the needs. That is why we have functional mobility, functional classification, we have activity, we have what the individual is able to do and what he's not able to do. So basically the framework, the ICF framework, is just a classification of disabilities based on the medical model perspective. Now, you know, their thinking is curative. They want to see how best they can address, they can help solve their deformity. So that is for short. Thank you very much. If that makes sense.
Thank you, Masabata.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kofi. It makes perfect sense now. I think when I go back to the videos in terms of understanding the longer version of it, it will be much easier. I tried, but I could not.
Thank you.
Yeah, I get it
Thank you
now.
very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Dr. Kofi, if Dr. Ige, you can allow me, I would like to bring additional clarity on this thing. I'm sure by now
Sure.
everybody has noted
Sure.
that I like this ICF, explaining this ICF.
Yes.
Considering that I'm coming from that medical model of disability. So let me try to add on to what Dr. Kofi has said, we on to say from the beginning, Masabata, there was a challenge of understanding disability globally, where one would say, for me, in South Africa, I don't take this as a disability, I as an impairment. And in another country, will say what I say is disability. It is not a disability to. So just a little bit of background. There's a need now for the World Health Organization to come up with a common understanding of what is a disability and how we measure disability universally. So that if I have an impairment and when I am in South Africa, I'm regarded as a person with a disability. But if I move to America, in America, they don't recognize I as a disability. Then
how do we, or how do these two countries reach a consensus on what is it really that is a disability, and what is or why are we saying this is a disability, and why are we saying in this other country this is not a disability? And therefore there was a need to come up with a framework that is going to be used internationally, whether you are in Ghana or South Africa or Asia or America. There must be a framework that will guide people in terms of what is regarded a disability and what is not. So that's where the concept of the ICF comes from. And it came as a tool that would be used to describe and measure disability globally. So we know if a person is mildly disabled or severely disabled or moderately disabled, then the ICF became a tool to assist us in terms, when I'm saying us, it would be both people in the model and the medical model to describe disability and to measure disability in terms of its severity. So ICF became a tool to do that. And also, it tells us how much the impairment is causing a disability. I'm sure by now we understand the difference between the bodily impairment and the disability, because the disability is based on the social context, and impairment, we are talking about physical insult in the body, or the bodily impairment. So that is what basically is about. And what it says is that this person has got this bodily impairment. For instance, let me make an example. This person is hearing impaired. Okay, the ear, which is a bodily organ, is not doing its work, is not doing what it is supposed to be doing. Then ICF is helping us to say, okay, now that the ear of this person is not doing what it is supposed to do, how is it affecting this person? How is this ear disabling this person? Okay, so ICF looks at two components. Part one looks at the person, and part two looks at the environment. Okay, so let's talk about part one. Part one will say, how is this ear that is not doing its work affecting the daily activities of this person? Okay, so daily activities would be things like eating, bathing, what would be the ear doing on activity, things like that. But I'm sure you do get the idea. So ICF helps us to look at the ear that is not working. How is it affecting daily activities of this person? ICF again helps us to understand the ear that is not working. How is it barring this person from participation? And when we talk about participation, we are talking about now life situations, things that are outside of the body, things that are outside of what Unati, who has an ear that's not working, is doing. Things like going to school, participating in sports, going to church. How is this non-hearing ear barring me or stopping me from participation? Okay, then that would be part one of ICF. Then it has got part two. And part 2 is looking at environmental factors. And environmental factors is looking at things like the physical environment. How is my physical environment, my community, how is my home affecting me? Or how am I unable to navigate my home and my social context with this ear that is not working? Okay. And it also looks at the attitudes in my community. What are the attitudes of the community members that are restricting me or that are barring me from participating fully in the community? Okay, so that those are the environmental factors that it is talking about. Then it also talks about the personal factors. Personal factors are things like my personality. Okay, now that I have this ear that is not working, how is my personality assisting or affecting my participation? For instance, if two people have got ears that do not work, a shy person would be much more disabled by this non-functioning ear than a person who is maybe bubbly and makes a joke and does not take things to heart. So those are personal factors. Other personal factors would be things like education. A person who loses the hearing after they've had education may have maybe less disabling factors than a person who lost their hearing and had not had a chance to go to school. So those are personal factors. And also, if we look at personal factors, we would also refer to financial status. A person who is maybe well-to-do will be affected by the ear that's not working, but that effect cannot be simulated or cannot be compared or be felt the same way as a person who is in poverty, because poverty obviously will exacerbate the level of disabling or the disabling ability of an ear that is not working. So ICF helps us to put all those components together. Now, with this framework, what we need you to know in this class is that there is a framework that is used to describe and to quantify disability. And this framework is relevant anywhere in the world. I think that that is the basis or the basic thing that you need to know. But if you were to become now a person who quantifies or who does this, ICF goes further to give a checklist or a score sheet. And in this score sheet, the examples that I was talking about, there is when now you have to sit with this person who has got a disability and to this person, okay, you have this ear that does not do its work. Now, how is it affecting you here and here and here? So when you're saying here and here and here, you are looking at personal factors, environmental factors, participation restrictions, and activity restrictions. Then you give a score for each. There is a score sheet there where you give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out of that score sheet, at the end, there is going to be a total score. And that total score has got a grid to compare to, or has got a scale that is used to say, okay, if you have scored out of these 10 points, if you have scored 10 out of 10, it means that you have a severe disability. If you have scored 2 out of 10 out of these points, it means that your disability is mild. Of course, it will depend from person to person, but at least ICF gives that guideline to say whether you are in South Africa or you are in Europe, if we use this kind of description and this kind of comparing and looking at what is it that is physically wrong or physically not doing its work, and how is it affecting you. So we look at it in the same way, whether you are in whatever part of the world. So that is what the ICF framework is about, and that is what its function is. I don't know if I have not elaborated in a way that brings more confusion than clarity, but let me stop there for now.
Thank you, Nati. Masabata?
Dr. Ike,
Yeah.
you see now,
That's
I,
right.
I think I think I get it much clear, Dr. Onati. I think the ICF concept came to my attention during the time when we had Pearl and was it Natasha?
Chantal.
Chantel, when we were
Yeah.
talking about intellectual disability, one
no.
of the yes, when they mentioned that when we're talking about Elena, who was transferred to school and they were sent back, and one of them was asking, "What does ICF say?" And I got curious then. And then this week we got into contact with the videos from Dr. Nsebo, and they were trying to explain it. But what Dr. Unati has just gave, that brief summary, it gave me a practical example maybe of someone who is involved in an accident. I'm assuming that's what Road Accident Fund is using, because they will then ask which hand got injured, and if you are right-handed and your right hand is injured, then they pay you according to that. So my assumption is that this is the score sheet that they are utilizing. Sometimes they will also look into the family setup as to who is this person who got injured or who passed on during the accident, and then they will be compensating based on those questions. So then I'm trying to align it with that and thinking this could be the decider for them to be able to compensate. I think that is how I'm trying to practicalize it, but I am much more clearer now. Thank you so much.
Great. Nati, thanks for that very detailed summary. Dr. Nsebo, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that, or
Yes, I think my colleague Onati just said it all. So it's a standardized framework worldwide that enables NGOs and other organizations to actually know what an individual is unable to do based on their impairments. Yeah.
The only thing I will add to that is just also be aware that when it comes to other intersections, you guys did remember I did intersectionality. And so Masabata will not know about that because he just joined us this second semester. But if you remember, you guys did intersectionality in semester 1, where we talk about the impact of race, gender, religion, age, and things like that. When those constitute forms of exclusion, then you need to go beyond the ICF and say, okay, someone that has a bodily impairment, like Onati was saying, the person might additionally be excluded based. So you have Black people with disability, with physical impairment, being excluded not just only on the physical impairment, as Onati said, but also because of the color of their skin. And then you go to women. So just be those are the kind of connections we want you to be making, as you engage with what Nati has said and Dr. Nsebo has said. All right. Okay. So let's move along. Cedric, I'm compelled to ask you to, because I don't know, I don't quite get your question in the chat. Maybe you want to turn on your mic and then just ask it, so that it's clearer. Because Cedric has a question in the chat. Do you want to turn on your mic and just ask the question?
Is that for me now, Dr. Ike?
Yes, for you, because I see you have a question in the chat, right?
Oh, no, it's not a question. It's just something that I put in the chat for Doreen when she posed the question to before Dr. Nsebe was back in the group again about the accommodations, the theories. Yeah. So I just wanted to make just an overview of the accommodation and how it should impact the student. So it's about firstly, in my view, is the access is important for the, like you mentioned, Dr. Nsebe, when he came back about the accessibility, and then for the learner to be able to participate in the class, and then that leads to inclusion and basically how will the accommodation contribute to the belonging and the learning in the class.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's clear. Thanks. So who else has a question, comment for Dr. Nsebe? I will call names, you know me. Because we agreed on Tuesday. Okay, let's see. Alice, what is your question?
Oh, Dr. Ike, today you're putting me on the spot. I wanted to give others a tip today. I wanted to give others a 10, but you see, my question, I don't even know where to address it to, because
just ask.
I sort of like I linked Dr. Coffee's a video with Chantal's video.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think there was a section whereby he was talking about the attitudinal barriers, something about like teachers having to, like they say, I can't really remember the exact words that he was saying, but it's something about you just have like the teachers need to ask and they just need to get educated. I'm not really sure if it's making sense, but then
It is.
yeah. So now my question is based on the attitudinal barriers. Like, are we suggesting that what is it? Like, can attitudinal barriers be structurally reproduced, which is through the teacher training, workload and the policies, or rather it's sort of like an individual mindset?
Dr. Nsebe, so can attitudinal barriers be structurally reproduced? Okay. Dr. Nsebe, do you have any thoughts about that? Very interesting question.
Yeah, it was breaking. So if you can.
So what she's asking is, she watched the video around where you talked about attitudinal barriers, coming from teachers and how they need to be trained, in that aspect to be able to help with barriers that come from attitudes. So she's then asking if attitudinal barriers, if it can be structurally represented. So if it can be, let's say, structurally manifest, but it's attitude. But can you see that structurally, impacting on learners, with, I think, all disabilities, but maybe physical disability in this instance? Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Definitely. It could be systemic and then structural, because the teachers were not trained to take care of persons with disabilities. So because they were not trained, they are reluctant to receive such individuals in their class. If you come here in Ghana, there is yearly league table about performances of students according to schools. So school by school, schools are categorized into category A, category B, category C, and all these things are determined by the infrastructure a particular institution or school have and the performance of the school. So the teacher may think, they will say he did not perform well, he did not teach well, that is why the child is not performing or the child is not passing very well in his exams. So the attitudinal barriers is either systemic or structural. So where we have the willpower from the government, then definitely he will take care of pre-service teachers and in-service teachers, where these individuals who are teacher educators, who are training our children, will have a fair idea about how to embrace every learner. Not until we tackle it from the teachers level, go to the colleges of education or universities that are training teachers. If we don't tackle from that side, definitely we'll have this attitude. And you'll be surprised to even hear that apart from the teachers themselves, parents may also pose challenge. A parent may come and say, because a child with cerebral palsy is in that class, he is taking his child away from the school.
I don't know if we have lost him again. Sebo, you still speaking? I think we lost the connection. Well, this, are you getting it so far of how attitudinal barriers to disability can be manifest structurally?
Yeah, no, I am getting where he's going, which is okay. I think
perfect.
I'll be able to follow up.
Perfect.
Okay, I think he's back.
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Not only the teachers, now the parents are also posing as barriers. A parent may not understand why a child with disability is in the same class with his child. So he may decide to take the child out.
This connection is not kind to us today. Huh? Sophie, we've lost you. I don't know if you can hear me, but we've lost you again. Yeah, I don't think. Okay, so Alice, hopefully you pick, from what he's saying of how those structural, how those attitudinal can become structural. Like we were saying, when you don't, if you don't do the training for the teachers, and you feel that training is not really necessary to include learners with disabilities, or you said from the parents, if a parent believes that no, I should not have my child be in the same class with a child with cerebral palsy. Okay, that's attitudinal, and then if that becomes a way, of the school, if the school does not address that, no, we're actually a mainstream school. These are support structures, and these are the values which the learner brings, being included in the school. That now becomes a way of doing things in that school. Okay, So that's part of what I want to, and that becomes a way of doing things. And before you know it, that's the same way where buildings in the school are not considered, for to be accessible. The same way curriculum is not considered in terms of how do you make it accessible for learners with disabilities. The same way, if there's a transportation system in the school, or is not considered. Same way, the teaching methods which the teachers use, they've not gotten any training from, in order to be able to accommodate learners with disability, because the attitude of the school comes from a deficit view of disability. It doesn't come from a rights-based view. Yeah. I don't know if Nancy wants to challenge, but that I hope you're getting it, Alice. Your question is very important. And it comes, if you remember when we talk about in first semester, about social response to disability, that unconscious motivations. That's what your question is actually even hinting at. How, because the unconscious motivations helps form the attitude, and then it now is represented structurally in how learners with disabilities are accommodated.
Yeah, just to also add on
Please.
on that, Ike. I would say Tofi was coming up with a solution that addresses the structure at training level, and that would cascade to the school level, or that would result into qualified teachers understanding disability and understanding how to accommodate it. So I was going to add to say, if maybe we also pick from that SIAS policy. SIAS policy is suggesting teams, those district-based teams and the school-based support teams. And my comment would be that those structures could also contribute in terms of educating and raising local awareness, or awareness to schools, awareness about disabilities, especially abilities that those teams know are definitely there. For instance, if this year or in the past 2 years they've placed learners with physical disabilities, hearing disabilities, or whatnot, I think those teams are supposed to also follow up and go to schools and see how the students are accommodated. But additional to that, run awareness campaigns of the disabilities so as to inform and to equip the teachers and the parents in local school about issues of disabilities and how students can be accommodated. And I think that would also help in terms of attitudes, because some attitudes come from a point of being defensive because you don't know. And if parents don't know, and if children don't know, and teachers don't know how to deal with a particular situation, then the first thing would be to be defensive and have an attitude because they don't know. So if information is given enough at a local level also, I think that would assist additional to looking at a bigger systemic reform in terms of teacher curriculum and teacher training. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank
Ike.
you very much, Nancy. Thanks. I don't know if Dr. Nsebo, if you're back in. Sorry, people. Sorry for today. The connection is not just working for us, for our guest lecturer. I don't think he's back in. All right. So we are sitting at 4:34. So we're supposed to take a break. but I am suggesting we go ahead. But if you think otherwise, that's fine. Suggesting we go ahead to maybe take one more question. If Dr. Nsebo is able to still join us, we'll take one more question. We finish that question, then we go into the exam and then finish up earlier. So we finish before 6 p.m. I don't know, do people agree with that? Rather than taking a break and then coming back. Okay. So I don't know if, let's just say if Dr. Nsebo is not, if anybody has any other question, they can ask now. Or otherwise, if he's not able to still come in, I can still send the question to him via email and then he will respond. I don't think he's back in. Kofi, are you back in? All right, I don't think he is. So does anybody have any last question for him?
I think the network is still breaking. Now I can't hear you.
Okay. I was asking, welcome back. I was asking.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, I think there's a delay. Dr. Nsebo, you can hear me? Yeah, I think there's a delay. Let's, whether or not, I'll just, I'll send him a WhatsApp just saying that I think it's better to just maybe end it on this note. I'll send him a WhatsApp. So then I think what we will do now is go through the exam and then any questions, and then we end off. But first of all, right, let me share my screen so long. PDF, yep. Submission, and then okay, great. Share.
Dr. Ike?
Yeah, I don't think the connection will work, eh? I can hear you, but it's
the connection is not, the connection is not it's not friendly today.
Yes.
Yeah, so if there is no any other, if there are any other questions, maybe you can forward them to me and I will attempt them, okay?
Exactly. My apologies for the connection issues. We were very grateful that you were able to join us.
At least I was able to interact with them, and I appreciate their participation. I like this year group. Their participation is very great.
Yeah, they are.
So you keep it up.
All right. Thanks.
Yes. So you said you wouldn't even go for break. You would like to continue with the lecture.
Yes.
And
yes. We'll just want to go through the exam with them so that we can finish earlier.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, guys, enjoy your learning.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so that's sorted. Let me share my screen.
Yes. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dr. Nsebo. Okay, bye. Okay. Let me just share my whole screen, because if I try to find the screen, it might be a problem since connection is not working today. All right. So, okay, first of all, even before I do that, let me get an indication. So, fire share. So who has gone through the exam instructions? Let's give a thumbs up. Cedric, okay. Who else has gone through it? Masabata, Alice, okay. Who else? Who is MP?
Mbali.
Mbali. Oh, okay. Okay, Mbali. Okay. All right. Welcome, Mbali. All right. So people who have not gone through it, what I'll tell you is that you're already late. You're already falling behind. Okay, Sibonila has gone through it. Okay. If you've not gone through the exam and start thinking around your strategy, you're already falling behind. Okay. So please get onto it. All right. Let me share my screen. Okay. So it says in the course you have So give me a minute. This Teams thing is blocking my view. All right. It says in the course you have explored exclusion of learners with various types of disabilities and how this might be understood through a framework of disability studies in education. We have examined the barriers that they face within the system and how these barriers may be addressed through curriculum adaptation and appropriate support. In this exam, you will consider the application of DSC in a specific case within the overall inclusive education system. So the question is, how would you adopt a DSC approach in addressing barriers to learning so that learners with disabilities might experience improved access, improved participation, improved, be able to get achievement in education? Choose one of these four vignettes, short stories, one of these four short stories of learners with specific disabilities to answer this question. So that means you are choosing a case from these four cases. Okay, so I hope that is clear. You're not working with number 1 and number 2, or number 2 and 3 or 4. You're choosing one, and that becomes your case, which you use to approach the questions. The first one is Andre is 8 years old, is an 8-year-old boy with a severe intellectual disability and mobility problems. Okay, he can communicate through saying yes or no and facial expression. He has a loving, friendly nature and enjoys playing with other children. He has never been to school due to family perception that he would not be accepted by the local school or a special school. His mother takes care of him at home, but now that she has a job opportunity which she needs to support the family, she is asserting her right to have her child attend the local school. So that's the first short story. The second one is Bukle is 12 years old with a hearing disability. She was attending a special school for learners who are deaf from 2020 to 2021. She has learned to use South African Sign Language and has basic literacy, but at grade 2 level. She was sexually abused by a fellow learner at the school and is too traumatized to go back to that school. The special school that she used to attend is 90 kilometers away from her home, but her parents are very concerned about her welfare after this experience and have agreed to offer support for her to attend her local mainstream community school. That's the second case. The third case is Maralise is 6 years old and has albinism. She has been attending the local ECD, Early Childhood Development Center, and is now ready for school. She has low vision and wears thick spectacles. Although her spectacles assist her to perform basic functions, it seems that these might not be sufficient for reading and other classroom activities. And the last vignette or short story, is a learner called Sumaya. Sumaya is an 18-year-old with a congenital physical disability. She uses an electric wheelchair for mobility. She attended a mainstream school where her classes took place on the ground floor of the school building. She has always done well academically and is applying to study at UCT for a bachelor's degree in social science. So as you can see, the first three are at schools, while the last one is at a higher education institution, UCT. So like I said, you have to choose one from those short stories and then use that to answer the questions, okay? So in order to answer the question, you will need to consider the following in relation to your chosen vignette. So these are guiding questions that your response needs to answer, okay? It says first, explain how adopting a DSC approach differs from special education and identify the principles that you will apply in your analysis. So first of all, you explain a DSC approach, how that differs from, because in this course, we've gone through special education, what it involves. We've gone through a DSC approach. How you are now to motivate and argue how those differ from each other. And then from all what you've learned from the course, choose principles that you will apply, principles you will focus on to analyze the case which you've chosen. Okay. 2, for your chosen story, or vignette. Identify the nature of the impairment and its impact upon learning. So what is the nature of the impairment of the learner? And then what is the impact on the learning of the learner? Okay. 3, what are the support structures that will be needed? I didn't mention, you can see that the marks associated with those points. Number 1 is 15, number 2 is 5 points, then number 3, which I'm going through now. What are the support structures that will be needed to ensure the learner's meaningful inclusion and participation in their learning site? Ensure that you relate this to relevant educational policies. So here you are, as you're talking about, support structures and everything, you are linking them to policies you've learned and you've engaged with in the course. Okay, that's 10 points, 10 marks. Then 4, identify at least 3 barriers to learning that this learner may face in the learning environment. Make suggestions as to how the learning site might plan to address this. You've learned a lot of strategies, okay? So you then identify the barriers and make suggestions. Then 5, finally, so that's 10 marks. Then 5, finally, identify considerations of universal design for learning and reasonable accommodation that will be relevant to this learner. Okay, so you're not forced to structure your answers based on these questions, but what it's saying is that in your response, you must cover all these aspects. You must cover the 5 aspects, okay? Yeah, so 50 marks in total is 50% of the exam. So approximately your written component should be not more than 3,000 words. But please, people also, you have to be very good to be able to address these questions with 1,000. It's very rare with 1,500 words. Because I see sometimes some people, in fact, what we've seen is that people who underwrite, so you're using 1,500 or 1,200, usually have not even addressed the questions. So make ample use of the 3,000 words, but don't go above it. Okay. So submission is on the 4th of September on Amatuba. Okay. So it's not far off. This is 20th of August. It's not far off. Okay. Then on the 9th of September, you now do your oral presentation. It's only Masabata this will be new to. So Masabata, it is the written component and the oral component. All the other students are aware of this because they did that format in the first semester. So in the oral, you'll be addressing the school-based support team at Zamohukle Primary School. Okay, so but this is for the first. So anybody that chooses the first, second, or third story for your presentation, you will be addressing the school-based support team at Zamohukle Primary School. Okay, and anybody that chose the 4th story, the one at UCT, then you will be addressing Unati and I, the program conveners, the course conveners at UCT for the 4th one. Okay, so I hope that is clear. If you chose story 1, story 2, story 3, for your oral presentation, you will be addressing the school-based support team at Zamohukle Primary School. But if you chose the 4th one, you're addressing Unati and myself, who are at UCT, because if you remember, the 4th one is addressing a student at a higher education institution, UCT. So your presentation should be designed to motivate for your chosen person's right to inclusive education and should inspire your audience to foster an inclusive. So you're really, in your presentation, you are really making a case for your learner or for your student. It's like what Dr. Nsebo said, you are an advocate for your learner and you must be convincing to Unati, myself, and the external examiner. Okay. So, and this is details for the first 3. For the first 3 stories, this child that you have discussed in your written exam questions has been admitted to Zamohukle Primary Mainstream School in a rural, which is located in a rural area, which is affected by poverty and poor infrastructure. The teachers have had some initial training in SIAS, screening, identification, assessment, and support. So they've got a little bit of training in that from the district office. But the mother of the learner has asked you to present their case to the school-based support team and class teacher and class teacher. So to present to the school-based support team and the class teacher advocating for the learner's right to equal access to the curriculum and social inclusion. So you are to motivate for the learner's rights to inclusive education based on your knowledge or based on the knowledge you've gained in the course. So you can see the mother has come, consulted with you, and said, please, we now want you, because they are seeing you as the expert, which you students are now, having gone through this course. So the mother is now telling you, please go to the school, go to Samakukle Primary School, and please advocate to my child, speak to the school-based support team and the classroom teachers, advocating for that my child should get equal access to the curriculum and social inclusion at the school. Okay. Then for the fourth one, Sumaya is starting her studies at UCT. She has asked you to present her case to the university staff, exploring ways in which she can have equal access to the curriculum and be socially included within the university. So you can say it's the same thing, but in the context, the first three is in the context of a school at a rural area. The fourth one is in the context of a university. Okay. So you don't have much time for this. You only have 15 minutes to present these ideas. Then afterwards, we'll have 5 minutes where myself, Unati, and the external examiner will ask questions, and then 10 minutes for examiners discussion. So that's where after each student presents, we do a discussion amongst ourselves, and then that's it. Okay. So the oral presentation is happening on Friday. We'll send the schedule closer to time. That's the presentation schedule, so that you know what time you're presenting. And then, so keep the whole of Friday free. Keep the whole of Friday free for the oral presentation. And it counts also 50%. Yes.
Sorry,
Unati?
sorry, Doc. The 9th is on Wednesday. Friday
Yes,
is the 11th. So, yeah.
Yes, it's on the 9th,
So they
on
must
Wednesday.
on Wednesday, yes.
Yeah.
So they must keep their Wednesday open, not Friday.
Okay. Oh, did it? Oh, sorry. I see. There's an error.
Yeah, we just
there.
need to correct that on the.
All right,
yeah.
right. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. So people, please, it's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday and not a Friday. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so let's take your questions. Areas of clarification, areas you want more clarity on. I will update that instruction and just post it again so that there's no confusion. Thanks, Nancy, for picking that up. Any questions? Or is sufficiently clear? It's fine if there are no questions, okay? You are still also welcome to email Unati and myself. Okay, Sergio said it's fine. You're still welcome to email Unati and myself if you have further questions, okay? As you're developing your work, okay? So it doesn't stop today. Yeah. All right, I see Kelobihile has his hand up. Please go ahead. And I hope the connection works. It's freezing. It's freezing. I don't know why today. Connection has always been good. If we struggle, then Kelebihile, you might want to put your question in the chat. Mamelo, sorry, I don't know if you're speaking to us, because we can't hear you. Sorry, I just wanted to check. No, can't hear you. Your connection is not good today. Huh? No, we can't hear you. Can anybody hear Mamelo?
No,
Maybe
we
it's just
can't. We
me.
can't hear.
We can't hear
Okay,
anything.
No.
No, we can't. So Kelebihile, tell him maybe he want to put his question in the chat. Yeah, let him put his question in the chat. Sorry for that. Internet seems to be problematic. Okay, while he does that, just some tips. So I'll suggest, when you finish, so you still don't, so people don't wait. I mean, we gave you extension for the, okay, Alice, I'll come to you now. We gave you extension for the assignment, but don't, complete the assignment as soon as somebody submit so that you start working on your exam, okay? Because exams, we can't do an extension. There's no extension for the exam. So you have to, if you don't submit the written on the 4th, and of course you have to present. So finish your assignment quickly. Don't wait till Monday to submit your assignment. Finish it quickly, and then so that you can start on the exam. So that, because the earlier you start on the exam, the earlier you'll be able to ask questions where you're not clear. Okay. All right, Alice, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know if you're going to give me an answer to this, Dr. Ike, but
okay.
my question is for the written report. You did give us short stories and everything, and then for the oral presentation, we have the Samo Kushle School and the
Yes.
UCT. So now my
Correct.
question is for our written report.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be a generic, like a generic answer? Like we don't have to base it on the Samokushle school. I'm not sure if it's making sense or.
Okay, you're saying, if while you're answering, no, because as you can see each story has their context. So the first one, you can see the context is a local school. You see, a local,
Yeah,
it talks about, yeah.
so
Go ahead.
my point is it's saying local school name, but then it doesn't
Yeah.
really specify which school it is.
Oh,
Whereas
no, if
for
you,
the
yeah,
oral presentation
yeah.
we are given a school to base on. So I'm
Oh, I
like,
see what you mean.
for
I see
the
what you mean.
written
Yeah,
report, is it us just choosing a fictional school that we want to be like, okay,
yeah,
I'm going to talk about Tando Kushle, or I'm speaking about the school that I'm going to
yeah.
choose, that I'm going to talk about in the oral presentation?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. As long as, it can be generic in the written, but as long as you need to hone in on the context of the school, because you see here where it's saying prescription will not be accepted by a local school. So here it's talking about a local school or a special school. So you need to be bringing in the context of those kinds of schools. Those kinds of schools need to come in. Here it says, you see here it's saying the school that they used to attend is 90 kilometers away from her parents, but blah, 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 and the rest of it. So yes, you can use a generic school, but it must, whatever generic school you are choosing must have the attributes that are explained in the case. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Any other question? But for the presentation, like you said, it has to be specific to the schools that are school and university that has been noted. So for me, I don't, I think that maybe there are not much question because the exam is not really difficult because it's what you've been discussing, what you've been chatting about. Is a matter of application. It's a matter of application, applying yourself, and it's a matter also of when you go through the what you've learned and everything, choosing the ones that you want to use to base your argument on. Of course, we want analytical, critical, responses, when you write your written report. Any other question? It's almost 5 p.m.
Kilebile has got a question on the chat.
Oh, thank you. That's why it's good for two people to be in this thing. Thanks, Nati. Okay, Kilebile says, can we write in academic essay format or just no, academic, please. It has to be academic writing. So what you've been, what you learned from semester 1, how you've written your assignments. So statements need, you need to support your arguments with references. Very, very important. Okay, so no, not the way you wrote on Padlet. Thanks for that question. So it needs to be academically sound. So when you make an argument, when you make statements that are referring to studies, you need to reference them. You need to have a reference list. Okay, you have a reference list. So generally, your written form should have a title page, should have an introduction, then the body of your work, where you make your arguments, you answer the questions, and then conclusion, and then a reference list. And please make sure whatever we are looking at, people from semester one will know this, but I'm explaining this for Masabata's benefit because she just joined us. We are not looking for a bibliography list. Bibliography list is where you include both what you used inside the body of your work and what you did not use. We're not looking for that. Every reference on your reference list must have been used in text in the body of your references. Okay, so very, very important. We're looking for a reference list because when we mark, we're going to look, okay, these are the items you have in a reference list. Did you use it in your argument? Okay, so thanks for that. Yeah, so that is Wednesday. I'm going to edit, Cedric, thank you. I'm going to edit that document and post it again and put it again because I know how things happen. When people are pressured and everything, they might see that old one and still think it's Friday. So I'm going to update it and correct that in the assignment, in the exam instructions. Yeah. Any other questions? Alice, go ahead.
There's one by Cedric in the chat also.
Written exam submission is due Friday, 4th, just for clarity. Yeah, so I think that's what 4th is a Wednesday, so not Friday. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Oh, you're asking a separate question. Let me see.
No, Friday, I think is correct. And then the next week on Wednesday will be the oral.
Yeah. So
yes, I think Dr. Ike mentioned something about Monday earlier for the written submission.
Oh, no, I was saying for your assignment, remember we extended it to this Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that don't wait till Monday to submit your assignment because you already have exam to work on. So if I were you, working on your assignment, if I were you, latest by this Friday, you should be submitting your assignment so that you start working on your exam. So that's what I meant. So, yeah, okay, great. So the 4th is the written submission, which is Friday, which is correct. The 9th is Wednesday, but on the brief, it says Friday, so I will change that. So the oral is happening on Wednesday, the 9th of September, not Friday. Yeah, I will update the document. And then I'll just put an announcement saying I've updated it. Any other question?
Dr. Ike, I just wanted to confirm.
Yes.
I just wanted to confirm that for the oral presentation, we are doing like slides or visual representation like what we did in semester one.
Yeah, you can use it. Yeah, you can use a PowerPoint.
Okay.
If you want, if a student wants to do any other thing that they think is appropriate, it's up to you. But yeah, PowerPoint is fine. PowerPoint is usually the thing, but you never know. Someone might want to be. Yeah. Okay, if no other further questions, like I said, you are welcome to write to Natia and myself. To Natia and myself, and so that's why I decided. You know what? Let's actually give you this time because I wanted us to see if we can have. So what we'll do after the course, we'll just send you a survey to just say how the course went, what you think can be done better, what went well, and things like that. But we'll send it afterwards. It's not for you to engage now because you have a lot of work to do. So I just thought, it's better to give you this time because you have things to complete, to give you this time to just start applying yourself into it and completing the work that you need to complete so that you meet the deadlines. Because like I said, the exam, there's no extension for the exam. There's no extension for the written submission and no extension for oral, okay? Except the only case where there's an extension is when a student is sick and the student needs to produce a doctor's note, okay? So because of that, that's why I say for you to have this time, okay? All right, so get working and we'll be communicating online. Yeah. Unati, I don't know if there's anything you want to say.
No. Just wishing them all the best. I'm looking forward to reading the assignments and the written work. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone pass.
Yes, me too. I as well. All right, everyone, have a good
Are you
evening.
going to
and
make us pass, Dr. Onati?
so just know,
Depend on what I read.
yeah. So just know we are in the business of wanting all our students to pass. We don't like failures. We don't like failures. But of course, you have to meet the criteria. Okay. So just know that your lecturers are people who look at your work and based on the quality of your work, they want you to pass, but of course you have to meet, the criteria. All right.
Yeah,
Thanks, everyone.
if they put in an effort, if
Yes.
they put in an effort and they write a good piece,
It will be evident.
there's no reason for not passing. But sometimes you can see when someone has just submitted for the sake of submitting,
Exactly.
and yeah, it becomes very difficult for us to pass
Yeah.
work that shows no effort.
Yeah, exactly. If you put in effort in it, good effort, it will show. It will be
Yeah.
the evidence will be there. Yeah, yeah. All right, people, you can do it. You guys are very capable. You can do it. I have no doubt about it. You can do it. It's if you put in the effort. Yeah, you can do it. All right, people. We're closing earlier and almost an hour earlier for you to take time, rest, and then get back to doing what you need to do. Okay. All right. We'll be communicating online, and yeah, have a good evening.
Have a good evening, everyone. Bye-bye.
Alice?
Thank you.
Alice has got one more.
Maybe she was
No, I
trying
don't
to-
have a question. It was a mistake.
Trying to clap.
Alice, it's
Yeah, I
fine. You
think she was
can give the last input, Alice.
No, it's fine.
All right. All right,
Have a
people.
good evening.
Have a good evening. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.